Hi, Claudine Reid here. I am super glad that you could join me. I want to spend just a few moments talking to you about strategic thinking. Strategic thinking, especially in the current climate that we are in. Have you been able to think strategically about your direction, about your business, about the pathway that you're going to take, about what you're going to do with your business, with your family, with your personal life? Let me tell you what I've learned. I've learned about the attributes of strategic thinkers. Strategic thinking, or the attributes rather, of a strategic thinking gives you the ability to understand your place in the market, so your place in business, and causes you to focus on a particular goal. Most strategic thinkers are super clear about the goal in which they are trying to achieve. I've learned that strategic thinkers have a very clear understanding of the past, the present, and the future. They are comfortable with ambiguity and comfortable with uncertainty, but they put plans. They use the trends that they have learnt or observed or things that they know about from their previous experiences, from their current experiences, and they are also able to make predictions about what the future may look like. I've also learned that strategic thinkers identify opportunities. And it's one of the key things why my husband and I, who's also my business partner, have been able to run a multi-award winning business, PJ's Community Services, because we've been able to identify opportunities. What opportunities can you identify in the current climate, in the current crisis that the world is facing? Some of those opportunities may not be based here in the UK. Some of them might be. They could be not in the similar field that you are used to working in. But do you have the capacity to align some of your learning, some of your thinking, some of the observations and predictions that you have made to be able to leverage opportunities that might be presented for you? It's these skills that support innovation and creative thinking. It's these skills that lead to business growth. I've learnt that when I embrace strategic thinking, generally, I break down the issues at hand. I break it down according to function. I break it down according to time frames. I break it down to areas of responsibility and purpose. For me, that really helps me. When I talk about breaking it down according to time, I put it into categories. Where do I want to be? Where do I want my business to be? Where do I want my family to be? Where do I want my finances to be? 12 months, 3 years, 5 years from now. It allows me to think through the process based on time. Then I usually break it down according to function. In those respective time frames, what do I need to achieve? Who do I need to speak to? What do my targets or my key milestones look like? One of the key things that I never ever leave out is the purpose for each activity. It helps keep me focused. It helps me maintain clarity as to the reason why I do what I do. I tend to ask why before I ask how. I find that if I ask why first, it helps give me a sense of clarity, a sense of purpose, a sense of meaning to the task at hand. Then it kind of makes the how a little bit more easier to achieve, especially if you are clear on the objective or the reason why you are doing this. When I think about strategic thinking, I'm also very clear that I need to review my resource. When I talk about reviewing my resource, I talk about the skill that I am surrounded by. So for example, my staff. I look at who is on my team, what skills do they have, and where do they shine the best? What are they good at? Do they have attention to detail? Do we as a group, as a collective, as a body of people have complementary skills that feed into each other? We're not about competing for space, but if everybody on the team operates in their respective areas of expertise, then our team can move forward in an upward trajectory. Easily put, it's just like saying put the right people in the right place. Put the right people in the right place. And I think I've learned that minimizes competition. It minimizes this. It minimizes the friction in the team. It minimizes It minimizes the competitive nature of team members amongst themselves because we are all working in our area of strength, in our area of gifting, in our area of responsibility. I found this framework from my favorite author, John Maxwell. He says when you have the wrong person in the team or the wrong person working on the wrong assignment, you get problems instead of potential. So one of the key things that we want to do is ensure that we've got the right people in the right place. He then goes on to say, if we're working in the wrong area, if we're working in the wrong place, we get frustration instead of fulfillment. Think about it. How many times have you worked on a project and you just feel flat, you feel frustrated, you understand that there's minimum progress, and you just don't get that sense of fulfillment that you're striving for? When you find yourself in that place, take a stock check. What's going on around you? And ask yourself, am I actually in the right place? Lastly, he taught me that when you've got the wrong plan, you get grief instead of growth. Grief instead of growth. And I know that to be true. There have been a number of occasions throughout my business experience. I was working once as a chair of governors for a school, and we had the wrong plan, and everything that we tried, it was causing us so much frustration, so much grief, and problem on top of problem. It wasn't until we were able to strip everything back and have a look at the personnel, have a look at where we are operating, have a look at our key goals, getting really clear and strategic about the place that we want to be and where we wanted to take the organization. It was in that moment that we were able to experience growth. So for those of you who will be thinking about developing your strategic plans, especially in this time frame, especially as the world is trying to navigate its way through a global pandemic, I've learnt this to be true. That strategic plans have the capacity to give you direction for today in order for you to increase your potential for tomorrow. Let me say that again. Strategic plans have the capacity to give you direction for today in order for you to increase your potential for tomorrow. I've observed different groups of people and the way how they speak, and I've observed that some people spend more time planning their summer holidays than they do planning their business, or than they do planning their life, or than they do planning key things that they really want to achieve. I'd challenge you today, take a strategic look at your business plan, a strategic look at your finance, a strategic look at your fitness regime, a strategic look at your family. Write down those key objectives of the things that you want to achieve and hold yourself accountable. Hold yourself accountable to those plans and see what will happen in 12 months from now. Thank you so much for stopping by.